Hello, my name is Sam Arizari, and today I'm going to be bringing you my industry professional. I've chosen Ollie Johnston, and Ollie Johnston was one of the original 9 old men of Disney, one of the original 9 animators. Um, he really helped bring Disney's dream to life through his animations, through all of that. Um, his other accomplishments include writing a book. He co-wrote a book with friend Frank Thomas, actually many books, and they kind of helped define what animation was and what it is. I believe that Disney animation would not be what it is today without the help of Ollie Johnston. So to start off, I will be talking about um, his origins at Disney Studios. I'm going to talk about his contributions while he was there and outside. I'll be talking about his relationship with his best friend and his fellow animator, Frank Thomas, and the contributions they made as a duo from their friendship. More importantly, I want to briefly analyze Ollie's career and how his contributions in animation kind of helped pave the way for for the animated features that we know and love today. So here we go. So here is a brief history on Ollie. He was born on October 31st, 1912 in Palo Alto, California. His father was a professor at Stanford University, the campus where he attended for grammar school. He graduated from Palo Alto School and then returned to Stanford, where he spent the last year of his studies at Cunard Art Institute in Los Angeles. He joined the Walt Disney Studios on January 21st, 1935, as an apprentice animator. His work as an apprentice included the shorts The Tortoise and the Hare and Mickey's Garden. Tortoise and the Hare won an Academy Award for Best Cartoon. In 1937, Walt Disney began their first full-length animated feature, Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, where Ollie was an assistant animator on that. Ollie's first experience as a full-on animator was in 1940 on the film Pinocchio. He was responsible for bringing the character of Pinocchio to life. The American Film Institute acknowledged Pinocchio as the second best film of all time in the animation category. His involvement in featured films run from all classics from Bambi, where he was an animation lead, Cinderella, Alice in Wonderland, and Peter Pan, all the way to The Rescuers and The Fox and the Hound. His contributions to the world of animation did not stop after he retired in 1978. He co-wrote books with fellow animator and lifelong best friend Frank Thomas. These books not only described what it was like to be an animator for Walt Disney himself, but what animation is to begin with. Many aspiring animators use these books as a source of reference and inspiration. The Illusion of Life was just one of many books written by the two animators. Others included The Disney Villain, which was an analysis of the villains of the animated classics, Disney Animation, a look at the movies Disney had produced, and Too Funny for Words, a view into the mentality behind the gags and reels at the studio. However, the gold mine of these treasures was The Illusion of Life. This Bible for animators is filled with rich information on production history, fellow animators, and just the general logic behind the stories that Disney produced. Yet the absolute gem that this book provided was a set of principles that explain how to give life to drawn characters. Now we can see tributes to the legendary animators in more recent films. Director Brad Bird gave Ollie and best friend Frank Thomas the spotlight in his movie The Iron Giant, where they made a cameo. He also wanted them to appear in his Pixar debut The Incredibles, where they were modeled to their likeness and were able to lend their voices. This was the last the public would see the last two survivors of Disney's dream team of animation. Both Ollie and Frank worked together for many years as they were co-authors, fellow animators, and neighbors. Of the 9 old men, these two contributed to the world of animation long after their involvement in movies. Their presence and words touched the lives of many of today's visionaries, including Pixar founder and figurehead John Lasseter and accomplished director Brad Bird. On November 9, 2005, Ollie was awarded a National Medal of Arts and the National Humanities Medal at the White House along with actor Robert Duvall and jazzist Paquito de Rivera. Interestingly enough, the nominees are submitted to the presidential office where the president himself selects recipients. Johnston was given these prestigious awards 3 years before his death. Sadly, on April 14, 2008, Ollie Johnston died of natural causes at the age of 95. He was the last of the legendary 9 old men and was also one of the most accomplished and well-loved because of the contributions he made to society and the community around him. He will always be remembered for the characters that he brought to life and the knowledge of animation that he spread to help keep it alive for today's animators and those that are still to come. Without Ollie's contributions, animation could very well be a different art form today. His knowledge really helped pave the way to put rules in place for animators to even follow to our day and age. So I know this because currently I'm an aspiring animator. I'm learning it at Full Sail and learning animation here at Full Sail. Most of what I'm taught comes from what Ollie and his fellow old men at Disney had to figure out by themselves. Uh, I find myself going through these old masterpieces or classics, as they're called, frame by frame, to really kind of see for myself how the masters did it. And what I find is that today, yeah, we've got 3D, we've got computers that kind of help us cheat a little bit, but these guys, including Ollie, they had to come up with ways to make this stuff look believable, and they had to do it by hand, pencils. So not only that, but without the principles that Ollie and Frank laid down for us, a lot of animation I don't think would look nearly as good or believable as it does today. I would go as far as to say that without their contributions, both in and outside the studio, who's to say that many of today's creative directors would have been as inspired as they were to make what they make and make it look as good. So that's what I believe. I believe it's because of animators like Johnston and the Nine Old Men, the rest of the Nine Old Men. Animation is what it is today. So that's my presentation, and thank you for listening.